This week I've got Detective Pikachu, and I'm not going to lie, my ability to be like super objective about this one might be like a tiny bit compromised, because I am totally in that sweet spot of like nostalgia fan, played the very first games when they came out, was super stoked about it, then took a break for a very long time, and then actually like bought one of the games a couple of years ago because I heard it was really good. So I'm in their adult target audience. And I think the other target audience for it is going to be, of course, little kids. And this film really does kind of require you to have a knowledge of the concept of Pokemon, right? You have to know that they're monsters who live in a world with humans. And there's kind of like a brief gloss over, exposition to just set up the concept for people. But it's very helpful to be familiar with the world of Pokemon. And there were plenty of Pokemon in this that I was like, I don't know what this is. I'm not familiar with this. I know my Bulbasaur, Squirtle, Charmander, Pikachu. I don't know what this crazy thing is, but I think for people who are super Pokemon fans, like, they're going to love every moment of it. You're going to be like, oh my god, that's a blah in the corner, or that's a this doing that, or how cute. And the design is super cool. Like, these actually look like if you took these cartoony creatures and brought them into our world. Like, I truly think that this is like a brilliant realization of what monsters, but adorable monsters, would look like in the world we live in. So that part, all very cool, all very well and good. Here is where it starts to sort of fall apart. So Detective Pikachu is voiced by the one and only Ryan Reynolds, who can do very few wrongs in my book. And I don't think this was doing wrong. I think it was like weirdly a great matchup. The character itself is just animated so adorably. Like, it is almost impossible to not find it appealing and cute. And so pairing it with like not the most saccharine actor, I think helps bring a sense of like, okay, cool. If I'm an adult who maybe like I have kids and bring to this movie, and it's not my favorite thing in the world, like I can at least palette this part. And there are a lot of jokes in it that I was like, this movie's only rated PG, but there are jokes that definitely I was like, oh, this is definitely pushing the limits of like the humor here. And I laughed at, I would almost say, everything that Detective Pikachu, the character, says. Like, it's very funny. It's like a squeaky clean PG version of like a Ryan Reynolds character. So that part, all well and good. Justice Smith plays the kind of main human in it. He plays Tim. I think he does a great job. It's hard to act against nothingness, so I'm sure that was challenging for him, but he has some actually very emotional scenes. The rest of the cast is actually pretty dang decent. It's Ken Watanabe, Bill Nighy, Suki Waterhouse, Rita Ora's in it, Chris Geere from You're the Worst, which is one of my favorite TV shows, so shout out to Chris Geere. There's a little cameo from Karen Sony from Deadpool, Derpinder. And this is where the movie really falls apart, is the plot. I don't know if this is the plot of the actual game, Detective Pikachu. I've been told that a lot of it actually is drawn from there, which very much scares me. My understanding is Detective Pikachu, like, in terms of gameplay, is very different than the traditional old school Pokemon, like original Game Boy game. But if this is the plot, I don't know what they're smoking. Like, what the hell is going on? So every time it bogs itself down in the plot, you start to lose me as an audience. But then they're like, oh, here's an adorable Pokemon that you remember and love. I'm like, okay, I'm back. So if you're like me and in that weird nostalgia-y sweet spot, I think this is actually worth seeing. You are going to want a Pokemon out of it. Like, you never in your life have you been like, I want this so badly. Like, I would love a Bulbasaur to walk around with me, or like I'd like a Ludicolo to serve me a drink, or all these things. And if these are just sounding like medicine names to you, then this is probably not the movie for you. If you do have kids who are fans of Pokemon, I think they're also going to love it. I will say, for a PG movie, the action scenes were pretty decently intense, and some of the jokes, again, a little more mature, not mature, but definitely like suggestive. In fact, it's rated PG for action/peril, some rude and suggestive humor, and thematic elements. I would take that actually under consideration. But so if you have like a really little kid, and also, again, the design of these Pokemon is, some of them are horrifying. Like, some of them are going to give you nightmares. The trailer, if you look at the trailer and you go, I'm repulsed by this is probably not the movie for you. So, nostalgia sweet spot, younger kids, I think those are the target audiences. I think if you're an adult, again, who has to just kind of go along, you're going to have an okay time. It's not going to be the worst movie that's sort of aimed at a younger audience that you're going to see. It's not going to be the best, probably, but I enjoyed it. I'm a sucker. I enjoyed it. I saw it with an audience who knows a lot about Pokemon. Like, I heard them laughing at points. I think you just have to suspend your disbelief on more levels than you normally have to when you're going to see a movie. But I'm going to give it an admittedly generous 3.6 out of 5.